This is the future.
Awesome. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Rohit. Thank you for the kind introduction, ma'am. Glad to be present in front of very, very senior dignitaries. It's my honor to present in front of such learned people, especially in front of Mr. Gulshan Rai, who is a veteran in the industry, is known for his contributions to the cybersecurity world and the networking world. Thank you, Mr. Sahu, for allowing us, to put our story in front of you. Fortinet, of course, I anticipate and assume that we all know about the brand, about the technology that we represent. It's one of the leading cybersecurity brands in the industry. We are one of the US-based conglomerates who has been representing cybersecurity practice, cybersecurity architectures, and defining our security offerings in front of the larger audience for the past 23 years in a row. But before I directly jump on to, what do we do, what do we have to offer, and what industry accolades that we have been collecting over the period of time, I'll take a step back and I would like to throw some light on, the kind of scenarios in India that have been going through in the past for the last couple of years, I must say. There has been a very, very large, diversified, constant endeavor of cyber security attacks that have been maturing and have been going past the deck. They are actually getting devastated, and gone are the days, gone are the times when traditional cybersecurity attacks used to probably affect individuals, persons. Now it's an army of people. It's an army. I'm sorry. I'm actually obstructing it. It's an army of people. It's an army of association. There are people who are responsible for stealing data. There are a team of people who are responsible for probably buying that data from the stolen people. And then there are people who are actually carrying out attack in a different form factor. So there is an altogether parallel world where we are living in. So while we represent, and the kinds of you who represent and talk about the cybersecurity practices, the cybersecurity landscape, there is a parallel world, the dark web, who is constantly investing in making sure that we die someday, that we get unsuccessful. There is a constant fight that is going on in between us. So these are a couple of snapshots that have been there, which talk about the kind of series of attacks, compromises that industries have seen. It could be pharmaceutical companies, it could be manufacturing institutions like Suzuki motorcycle or so and so forth, or it could be any industry vertical for that matter that might not be necessarily be here in these landscapes. So this is the kind of maturity of cyber attack which has been progressing really, really strongly. And I must say, it's time that we all should look into it very, very seriously and join hands in making it more powerful, making it more stronger, and making it a firm believer. So while these are couple of incidents that were reported, couple of incidents that were not reported are the ones over here. Some oil refineries that got compromised. Largest of the largest, oil manufacturing companies got compromised who are investing in one of the biggest oil manufacturing facilities in Saudi. The largest ransomware attacks also triggered a perennial effect in a lot of so during the war, the recent wars that have actually happened over the period of time, a lot of attacks were actually were visible from the Chinese out front or the Israeli out front or the Russian out front. So those kind of attacks and compromises have been at scale, and gone are the days when eventually countries will eventually get bombarded. Cyber attack or OT attack or any kind of industry attacks are the ones which are severely going to impact organizations, institutions, and in the larger interest, nation. So when nation is being run by some such very, very large conglomerates, probably putting them down, bringing their network down and infrastructure down is going to be one of the very, very serious impact resonations. So by this, I jump onto the prima facie element of our organization. Quick glimpse, we are a 23-year-old cybersecurity veteran industry, functional and headquartered in Sunnyvale, California. We proudly say that our promoters of the organization are still the owners of the organization. So Fortinet is one such organization who has not yet been sold off to any investor organization. We are partnering well. We are making sure that we have made the right set of investments, and no longer Fortinet is known for just a cybersecurity brand which talks about the next generation firewall component. In my forthcoming slides, you will get to see that there are a lot of other technologies that Fortinet has invested upon, and we've got tons of other security offerings to bring on the table. Of course, some figures that we have put across, approximately $5.5 billion worth of cybersecurity spend that we have done. But the most important thing and the most important proud aspect that we basically say are the customer associations. More than 700,000 customer proud associations that we carry, all thanks to you, all thanks to people like you who have been making sure that we stand and make ourselves present in this particular audience. Now this is a very, very important aspect, and accolades and thanks to you for making this happen to us. We are one of the fastest growing cybersecurity brands, and not just by virtue of the series of customers that we eventually carry. We also have, as of today, more than 50 plus, I would say very, very accurately, now that 50 plus thing has actually reached 60 odd unique technologies that Fortinet eventually empowers with. So those are the kind of security offerings that we basically talk about. From the global reach and global support architecture, we are predominantly available in most of the parts of the world, with multiple support centers being operational across the globe. And when we talk about our cloud presence is available in 100 plus districts, in 100 plus areas across the world. We, a lot of our services are also operational using the Google Cloud platform, and a lot of our services are available on the AWS and Azure platforms as well. But most of the R&D basically happens from the Northern America region, the Canada region, and of course, the India region as well, from Bangalore. Today, with more than 80 plus industry validations, not just in firewall, 80 plus industry validations across multiple technologies that Fortinet empowers in, we are one of the vendors who is now talking about a consolidated approach architecture. Now, what is that consolidated approach? Why is this important? I'll run you through that. But before I jump onto it, approximately 63 to 68% of global 2000 customers rely on their network security from Fortinet, be it service provider, it could be manufacturing institutions, it could be pharmaceutical institutions, it could be education, it could be retail, technology. 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10 security vendors, veterans of those organizations, the data centers of the world eventually run on Fortinet. And I can proudly say, as of today, 90, I would say not 95, 90% of 89 to 90% of your payment transactions that you do as of today pass through a Fortinet firewall. Because ICICIs of the world, HDFCs of the world, SBIs of the world, any of such payment card industry protocols are eventually getting secured via Fortinet. Now, those are the kind of industry standards that we have been maintaining, but this is not the edge. This is not the end. We just want to make sure that we go beyond this, we take our story much, much beyond this, and we make it more and more stronger. On top of this, from the contribution perspective to the sustainable society, we have been making sure that our products are environmental friendly. It consumes lesser power, gives more response, more throughput, creates and emits the least amount of heat possible across the industry. I would say again, across the industry, we emit the least amount of heat and consume the least amount of power across all verticals in the next generation firewall domain. Now that's our way of contributing to the environment and contributing to nature. From the cybersecurity skill gap arrangement, we have taken a pledge to make sure that another 1 million people get trained by 2025. Those are the kind of certifications and trainings that we have been empowering on, and we want to make sure that those certified resources are there on the field and are ensured that such people are there on the ground to support the security function, because that's an ever-evolving factor. Quickly jumping on to the market drivers, of course, a lot of people spoke about, Dr. Gulshan also spoke about, some of these very, very important aspects, the economy headwinds, the technology disruption that has been causing these market drivers to be, sincerely thought about. But these market drivers have been changing, especially after COVID. Work from home was one of the aspects which became the market driver. Now, these technology disruptions, the kind of constant technological advancements that have been bringing those changes, are one of the primary reasons why these constant changes have to be taken up into consideration. And why I say this is something that will make sure that your changes are never constant. They'll continue to scale, they'll continue to move, they will continue to push you towards making newer investments into cybersecurity practice, because cybersecurity is not just one thing wherein you put in a box and just configure it and move it out forever. No, it will not happen. It's a constant and ever-evolving threat landscape. Thanks to Dr. Nirmala Sitharaman, who made a very, very serious announcement about ensuring the fact that the necessary investment in the cybersecurity threat landscape has to be improvised, and she has urged all the financial institutions, economic institutions to make sure that the necessary investment in cybersecurity landscape gets improvised. So that's the kind of the need of the hour. And when we talk about complexity, spear phishing, ransomware, cloud risks, supply chain attacks, these are the kind of newer threats that are there. No longer are there any kind of virus-based attacks that eventually come across. These are the kind of ransomware attacks that kill an organization, that brings down the entire organization once and for all. And when an organization, say for example, generally a lot of movies have also demonstrated similar kind of attacks where it's a 3-step attack. You kill the electricity department of the industry, you kill the oil and natural gas part of the industry, you kill the education segment, or you kill any such segment which is prima facie one of the very, very integral aspect of any country or of any nation. That is how you are able to bring down the entire nation for once and for all. And these are the kind of attacks that have been making sure that supply chains are basically affected. Signals, traffic management system eventually gets impacted. So these are all coordinated attacks which eventually turn the table. And of course, infrastructure is killing. Infrastructure is becoming more and more vulnerable because the network, the security, the users, things are scattered. The industry says that 90% of the enterprises will actually be facing at least one or more than one attack. Every end user will have actually faced one or more than one attack by 2026. All thanks to the disruption of technology, the disruption of applications, the disruption of devices, and the disruption. You have been attacked or you have been compromised. It's a mandate now. And we are trying to make sure that Fortinet as an organization and many such responsible organizations are helping you to stand in front of a larger audience and make sure that such kind of attacks and compromises are taken care of. But look at the kind of breaches, look at the kind of financial losses that eventually any organization happens to face. Approximately $9.4 million worth of, but these are all legitimate figures. A lot of organizations have not even reported such incidents, and therefore such figures are, maybe much more than this. Correct, sir.
And just imagine on a daily basis or a weekly basis or a monthly basis, how many breaches are happening.
Correct.
And each one you have to identify, each one you have to remediate, and each one you also have to contain.
That's correct.
That
That's right.
creates a hell of a situation.
Yeah. So it's a scary world where we are living in. We really actually try to make sure that we try to make the best of everything. But it's a scary world. It's a parallel world we have been living in. And because of all these things, look at the product explosion that actually has happened. These are just a few names that I have been able to fit through in this particular slide. But genuinely speaking, is anyone able to give a guess, put in a word, put in a number, how many unique cybersecurity brands do exist in the world right now? Any guess? How many unique cybersecurity brands do exist right now as of today? 1,000+. Very, very close. 1,150. 1150. Unique cybersecurity brands that exist. ये slide भर जाएगी पूरी, जगह नहीं बचेगी यहाँ पे. So I think these are the kind of solutions that's empowering users, consumers, markets like crazy. But nevertheless, brands like us, and then a lot of respectable brands like there in the industry have been focusing on making sure bringing a customer approach towards a consolidated factor is something which is making their life easier and simpler. While there are Gartner leading brands, IDC leading brands, Forrester Research leading brands, and multiple third-party leading brands that do exist in the industry, we want to make sure that when we invest in brands, products, when we say that we've got 60 plus products available from one single umbrella, why? The reason is, whenever an end user, a customer, a consumer is making an investment in our brand, we just want to make sure that they are just not looking at one side of it, which is the network security element. You can look at an endpoint security, an application security, a user security, probably a zero trust network access. Those kind of elements are at large making sure that the consolidated architecture is helping you bridge the gap. And what does this consolidation bring in? This is what it brings in. In 2020, consolidation was one of the things which 80% of the consumers were saying that we will try and adopt. As of 2022, that 80% has actually reached 97%. And that consolidation is bringing in improvisation of risk posture. The consolidation is bringing in the security capabilities, empowering the users with a flat and reduced security architecture that they are able to visualize using one single dashboard. That's the power of a unique technology. That's the power of a platform-based technology that we uniquely say. Okay. How do we, as a platform originating company, help in solving such problems? I'm sorry, I have to jump through a couple of slides. Secured networking, secured operations, and universal SASE. These are three key pillars of the Fortinet security fabric architecture that makes sure that all your solutions, all your security requirements are eventually fulfilled using one single stack point. And the beauty is, fortunately, all of these solutions are powered by one single operating system. The one single operating system, one single user is able to articulate and define any of the security offerings from one single umbrella of solution. That's the power of Fortinet. And of course, the AI/ML architecture from Fortinet is making sure the necessary governance of the intelligence is being fed. The organizations, the security advantage of the devices are eventually made sure that such solutions are passed on with the necessary threat intelligence, not just from the Fortinet's inception point. We also tie up with third-party institutions, the ICSA labs, and various such institutions who empower our security fabric architecture. So, three pillars: secured networking, which is a combination of firewall and security-based networking, combination of firewalls, switching, and multiple aspects from Fortinet. The second most important aspect, which is the universal SASE, which talks about the secured web gateway, combination of ZTNA, combination of SD-WAN, and combination of CASP in one single umbrella of solutions. And last but not the least, the consistent application threat analysis that we do using the security operations. Secured operations or the security operations are the convergence of our architectural approach, which makes sure that the lead time to response, mitigate, and identify an attack eventually diminishes to just a couple of hours. This is my last slide. I'm sorry, this is my last slide. This is the larger portfolio of Fortinet that talks about the 3 pillars of security that we basically constitute. In the interest of time, we will just make sure that we are here around the corner. We have a stall available in front of you. Please feel free to drop in, reach out to us. Thank you for being a patient listener and making sure that we continue to stand in front of you, continue to express our gratitude and sincere thanks. Thank you so much.